Classification of neuron. So here we have three types of neuron: unipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, and multipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron, only one processes from the cell body. That is unipolar. Only one process that arises from cell body, and it is bifurcate. And one they receive information. Others another one it acts as a axon. Bipolar neuron, we have two processes from the cell body, one axon and one peripheral processes. Multipolar, one axon and many processes or dendrites. So let's see one by one where we can find in our body. The unipolar neuron, this unipolar neuron is a single process arise from the cell body, and that bifurcate to form the two processes. One is peripheral. This innervate the tissue or skin, tendon, or visceral organ or tissues. They receive the sensory information and takes to the cell body, and then the axon they takes the information to the CNS. So we have one process, but this one process divided into two processes. So that's one process that arises from the cell body. So because of that, we call it unipolar neuron, and they are primarily sensory neuron. Cell bodies are located. We can find in the spinal ganglia. So spinal and cranial ganglia, their cell bodies are located. And sometimes these neurons are also called pseudo unipolar neuron because embryologically they originate as bipolar neuron and they fuse together and they form the unipolar neuron. So sometimes it calls pseudo unipolar neuron. So next, a bipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron having two processes. So this bipolar neuron, we can find in retina, then cochlea, spiral ganglia, vestibular ganglia, and olfactory epithelium. And these peripheral processes, they attach with the sensory cell. For example, in the retina, we have the photoreceptors, rods and cone. And this bipolar neuron, they receive the information from the photoreceptor. So they are innervate or they are linked with the cell, sensory cells. So these are in retina, and in cochlea or the vestibular organ, they link or they attach with the hair cell, where they take the informations and to the CNS ganglia, then to the CNS. So this sense organ like retina and hearing from ear, we find the bipolar neuron, and also olfactory epithelial olfactions, we find the bipolar neuron. But the bipolar neuron which we find in the olfactory epithelium is little bit different than the retina and the vestibular ganglia. So olfactory epithelium, the terminal branch of olfactory cell, form the dendritic bulb and its cilia, which act as a receptor detecting chemical. So this is the cell body, and the dendrite, they form the bulb, dendritic bulb. From there, these are the cilia, and these cilia, they sense, they act as the receptors for detecting the chemical. So there is quite some little exceptions in olfactory epithelium as compared to the retinal and the ganglial bipolar neurons. So multipolar neuron, it has multiple processes, and these processes may synapse with many neurons, and one axons, all in unipolar or bipolar, multipolar. We have to remember that only one axon which takes the information to other neurons or CNS, but they may have many dendrites or many processes. So the processes that originate from the cell bodies are many, axon and many dendrites. So this is multipolar neuron, and the majority of the neurons are multipolar neuron. Okay, thank you.